Welcome to this week's episode of Factory Friday. Today, we're diving into the heart of production at StyroMAX. First up, we'll catch you up on the latest in-house assembly and give you behind-the-scenes look at how we make precision relief cuts. We'll also explore the challenges facing importers here in Australia and show you some of the newest flat packs coming through our production line. Finally, stick around to discover the latest product offerings from StyroMAX. Let's jump in.
Righto, let's have a look at what we're building at the moment. I know that's what you're all here to come and see, is what we're putting together, because that's the most fun, exciting part, I suppose. So we've got 21220 slide-on camper. Now this one, believe it or not, is the last of our COVID backlog. That massive amount of jobs that we had back in those times, and we actually had to pull up stumps on putting assemblies or bodies together because we just couldn't handle the workload. So we've since lifted that. We've got a fresh batch of builds coming through after this one, but let's have a closer look at this one. Just over 4.4 metres long, just over 2.3 metres wide, and about 2.2 metres high. And we've constructed this one with Styro RV RG Plus, which is our 29mm panel, although the roof we've upgraded to the 39mm panel that is available, and it just gives you a much more solid underfoot feeling when you're up on top doing your maintenance or what have you. Alright, now as you can see, we're halfway through assembling the front wall and roof on this build, and you'll notice that the styro tape that we've used to just hold the body together nice and snugly, it's not holding any pressure in, it fits absolutely perfectly because it's CNC cut, but it just sort of holds it where we want it to be while the adhesive cures. Now if we have a look at the front here, how we've used all these quick grips, and we've also used some pultrusion beam. You can use blocks of timber at home, some steel, but whatever it is, just make sure you put some styrofoam on the back. You should get some with your packing kit at times. We would have some. If you come and collect your panels from here, you can grab some of this stuff from us to assist you at home if it's not with your kit as packing. But you can see how we've got these quick grips and something solid, and we're spreading load. So some just nice gentle pressure up against the frame underneath, and of course at the side we've gone through the hatch door because we've had the ability to, because of the hole that's there. The question is, regularly we get, what's the spacing of the clamps? Well, it's a bit difficult to give you a spacing because every build's different, and every build has something in the way or won't have anything in the way, and you can have a long spacing where you can put heaps. So I don't know, we kind of try for, you know, 400-500 mil, but in areas where we can put more, we'll put more, but of course that also depends on how many quick grips you got. Don't forget, we sell them here, so you can buy, you know, whatever quantity you sort of think you're going to need, but we can advise you on that as well. But yeah, there's no real given rule. You just want to, obviously if you've got a big area like this, you put one here and put one there, you're obviously going to want some in the middle because it's such a great span. But of course with this build we had the ability to do so. Alright, so let's have a look at some of the design features of this customer's design. Is that actually the shower and toilet is right here. So the entry door will be there, and I guess they'll have a blind. So the shower's going to be here, and through here is going to be a hatch door that the toilet's going to slide out of. So that's a bit of a space saver, I guess. Also on the outside of this build here, you can see it's got these massive two big hatch doors here that creates this ginormous tunnel boot underneath the bedding area of this build. I think these guys have got some electric bikes or something that they'll store in here, but you'll be able to store plenty more than a couple of bikes in there. There's some pretty big opening. Back here we've got this massive opening that's going to become a drop down deck or a lift up door for a deck area, but it's massive. It's 2 meters by 2.1, so that's going to give them plenty of access to the outside world. Right, now another interesting feature with this one is the amount of relief cuts it's got. Now if you take notice of the sidewall profile, it's one big long large radius, so what we've had to do there is obviously do our 3/4 relief cuts. So why do we do those? Well, we relieve the panel just like you would with timber, so it allows it to bend and conform to the shape of the sidewall profile. Alright, so once this is done, you're going to want to cover these relief cuts. There's several ways of doing that. Depending on your build, some of your fit out can cover them at times. Some people use marine carpet. Some people use the same fabric or material they've made their lounge suite with. It kind of matches in with your interior decor. Or the most common one is a piece of 1.5mm fiberglass sheet that we have here, our StyroGlass, and that just gets bonded over the top, and you can put a cover strip at the edge there. The other one generally goes down to the bottom, is hidden by other components, but what it does is when you're bonding this material in particular to each and every one of these pillars again, you're creating the strength back in the panel, so it's a pretty important process to carry out. You want to see how these are done? Let's go next door and have a look. Alright, here we are at CNC 3. Now it's number 3 because we've got 3 of them. It's the last one we brought. It's 15 meters long by 3.5 meters wide, and it's got a cut depth of 200mm. What are they? Well, they're a computer numerically controlled router, really. That's what they do, and they read off our SolidWorks 3D models that we create of your build. So why do we use them? Well, for accuracy. They are absolutely 100% accurate to the program. So they're an amazing piece of machine. Yes, they're much faster than cutting by hand, but it's the accuracy that we love here at StyroMAX, and that's why we've purchased 3 of these ART routers over the years. Okay, so let's have a look at the relief cuts. I've got a billet here of a roof vent that's been cut through as well, so you can see how that's curled up since it's been relief cut. Here's a little billet from a EV 300/500 window, so see it's nice straight and flat. So how do we do that? Well, we've got these lineal saws that fit up into a special spindle that we've got on these machines, and basically what it does is this gearbox here at the side changes this rotating direction to that of a saw blade. So that's how the tool works, and of course it follows a preset program that's in the machine, and it determines the width or the pitch of the relief cut and the depth, and the depth is normally 3/4 of the panel thickness. So if you have a look at this one, it's still a bit stubborn because it's such a small panel. Obviously when it's a big roof panel it's a lot easier to bend, but you can see I can bend it quite over until those relief cuts almost close up. So on these CNC routers, not only do we cut the composite panel, this one here is a DIY job that's just been completed. I think that one's going on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter from memory. Not only do we cut the panel, but we also cut fiberglass sheet from time to time. Be that some custom cuts for industry, or perhaps it's even your cover sheet that goes inside your build to cover your relief cuts. So you can see here we've got some CNC cut fiberglass sheet. Not much detail to this, it's just got a couple of notches out of it, but it's cut to a specific width and length. So with your fiberglass for covering your relief cuts, you really need to have about a 4mm gap all up, 2mm either side of your internal body width. So quite often we'll drop a sheet up onto the table and CNC cut the piece to the actual width that you require. So speaking of fiberglass, let's go and have a look downstairs at the stock levels. As you can see, the cupboards are pretty bare, but this is an industry-wide thing. The whole industry that we all bring in fiberglass sheet from Europe, really. We're all struggling with the same issues, and that's the congestion that's taking place in Singapore. Whereas all the troubles that are in the Middle East and through the Suez Canal and all the ships going around Africa takes longer, costs more, and everyone gets banked up at Singapore. So this is the result really, but fortunately for us we've got 23 SKUs of this stuff, so all different widths. So if we run short on one product line, we can quickly re-nest your job and then jump to another product line and get the panels done. So we're very fortunate for that. But enough of that. Let's go upstairs and have a look at some flat packs that are going through. Right, here's a DIY job here. This is a sidewall for a camper body that's going on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. This is a good example of what I was talking about before. Normally we would sort of make this sidewall out of a piece of glass that's just a little bit wider than it, but if we're out of stock due to our overseas issues, we have the flexibility of jumping to a wider material and quickly re-nesting. So we could put some more panels at the top, get the sheet efficiency from this piece of glass and get the job done. All right, so here's the rest of that build that's going on the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. It's getting loaded onto our stillages at the moment. Generally we put the roof down first because it's the bigger panel, and then all the other panels stack on top of that with a layer of bubble wrap in between each panel. As 98% of the time we peel the plastic off the panels, which gives you a much better looking panel and a better press under the vacuum table. So, but of course with that you need to put some bubble wrap in between the layers so to prevent scratching. These are becoming increasingly popular. Here's a boat canopy roof. This one's 2.6 meters wide, 3.8 long, and we'll end up with a quite a large radius. It's got some Styro Beam XHD, I think the model is. That's the big 50 by 30 beam. So it's got two side by side running down the panel. Some single ones down either side and one running across. So yeah, that should look pretty cool on the boat when it's done. All right, so this design's a bit unique really. It's looks like it's going on a light truck, probably a slide on. It's got some posts in the side of it, and it's got like a clamshell hatch at the back, which could be for the sleeping area perhaps. Yeah, so it's quite a unique design, but that's what makes these all different. It's up to what the customer, you, decide that you want. We've actually got a lot around here. There's a lot of industry builds around here, so I can't show you those, but this one over the back here is a just another little light truck camper box. So just a few hatch doors down the side, rear door entry, so that one's probably waiting on the accessories to turn up. This one here, 24252, is a large race car trailer panel set. So just a couple of side walls, a roof, a front wall and a rear door. So you'll notice with this one the wheel arches aren't cut in. We do that quite often, we don't cut them in. Some customers prefer to cut them in after they've got them assembled onto the body, which is perfectly okay. You can do that with your typical jigsaw with a special fiberglass cutting blade that we do sell here at StyroMAX to make the cut a lot easier. Okay, so this one is STMA 24024, so an early job number for the year 2024. So this is a typical slide-on panel set for the back of a ute, I would imagine, by the size of it. So yeah, it's a pretty popular sort of build that we do for people here at StyroMAX. It's probably the most popular sort of model, probably that, and then expedition truck body panel designs, they're probably second in the queue. So anyway, this one's all cut out, and it's got lots of internal panels. You'll notice the little keys that we have in some of those panels, and then where they attach to, there's a little machined pocket that the panel locate into the correct position of where you want it to go as you're putting it together. So it's a bit like a big Meccano set. You also noticed that this internal wall's got a nice radius cut into the panel via the CNC, and we actually have some cover trim for that now. So if you want to come over and have a look at our display, I can show you that. Good. Okay, look, if you've been to our DIY days, you probably, well, the last one, you'd be familiar with these three builds here. These are our displays. This is our latest one. This is actually Styro Slide, our new sliding door system. So we've got a feature video for this. By the time you see this video, that feature video will be up online, so make sure you check that out. Styro Edge, or actually its real part number is Styro RV-RG Plus Edge. So the RV-RG Plus is in reference to what panel it fits, 29mm RG Plus. So this is the new trim that we've got, and it's a white C-section shaped thermoplastic with some double-sided tape on the inside. So this was my test mule. We've got some different sort of radiuses that we cut into this panel, both internal and external radiuses, and then we did a cutout which kind of simulates perhaps a crawl through in a bigger motorhome body, so we could test the limits of the new trim and see what it can handle. So this side I used just the self-adhesive tape, and I just wanted to see how long it's going to last. Is it going to lift off in a couple of weeks or so? But I'm happy to report actually that it surprised me. This has been on here for months and months and months, and it hasn't moved at all. So failing that, if the tape wasn't good enough, we were obviously then going to do it with the Terrason MS939. But yeah, so far I'd be just using the double-sided tape. All right, so to wrap things up on Factory Friday, if you have been to our DIY days or a factory tour, you would have seen these builds here. That was our latest, the Styro Slide. As I mentioned, we've got a feature video online for that one. This is a pop-top display that we did at our second last show. It's not quite finished yet. We've got some Linac actuators to attach to this yet to electrify it and make it even a better display, so we'll get round to that. And this was probably 3 shows ago, perhaps, or 2. Little body that we that was our first live demo, I think, when we assembled that live in front of an audience. So they're here on display now to have a look at if you come out and do one of our factory tours. Right, so let's wrap things up for today. One thing I want to do is that I want to do a Q&A session on our next Friday's video. So what I need from you guys is your questions. If you've got any questions about anything composite, throw them in the comments below, and I'll answer them next week. All right, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hit that bell notification. So until next week's episode, happy RVing.